Kimberly. Welcome to Simply Living in a Small Town. Today is Thursday, and my day has gone, I don't even know where. So I hope your week has been great and you are doing well. What is everybody working on? I I don't know. Today has been like a blur to me. So I do have a little bit of something to show you, but not what I intended to do. However, I'm still going to get a video out, and I do apologize for the lighting because I know it's not very good at all. I need to take care of that shortly. Um, but I have been working on something today, a little bit here and there, and it's something that shouldn't have probably taken me very long to do one of them, or what I started to do here. But I'll just show you. So I have been making, and it's hard to see this. It's just a little head with two little eyes. So I have a white one. You can't hardly see the eyes. My eyes are like really small on that one. Even though it looks okay close up, but I should have used bigger eyes. But this was the first one I did. So these are, I think they're called Flower Pals. And it's a pattern that I got off Etsy from a lady that has a YouTube channel also. And her name is, well, her channel name is the Celestial Homebody. She actually lives like 45 minutes from me in Greensburg. And so that's actually the same area that my husband works in. So that's his drive, like 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 7. And as it turns out, apparently her husband works at the same, basically at the same place. And then he also does some crocheting too, which I told my husband, I said, see, like, he does video gaming and he crochets. And my husband says to me, what are you trying to say to me? So anyway, she put these, she has an Etsy, and she puts patterns on there that she sells, as well as some other things. And so I bought this pattern. I meant to tell you how much it was, but I will try to put her information in the description. I think the pattern was $3.99. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure, because I'm almost certain it was $3.99. It wasn't expensive. And I will actually stick a picture up here, like, above me, so you can see what these are supposed to look like, because clearly right now all I have are the little faces. But these Flower Pals, that's slightly better, but this is just Chanel yarn. These eyes are a little bit bigger and they look more, oh my gosh, like they should. I already told you you were not going to do this. Nope, nope, go. Sorry about that. I knew that I should have closed the door while, I didn't realize he went out of here a while ago, but I should have closed the door. Anyways, so these are just the little faces for the Flower Pals, P-A-L-S. I'm going to take my hook off here so I can show you this one. The head for this one is almost done. Like I said, I'm starting to get faster at them now, but initially, well, I started with the white. Here was my problem, y'all. So the white is like harder to tell, and my stitch count was off, and it ended up to the point where I just literally started it over a couple of times, because I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is not hard. And but it's Chanel yarn. I'm not, I've worked with it some, so I'm still getting the hang of that. But especially like the white, and you got to be able to feel your stitches really with doing something like this. So I've got a bright yellow here that's called lemon color. And so these don't look like much, of course, at the moment. I'm well aware of that. But I didn't get as far, obviously, as I wanted to, but when you see the picture up here, they're super, super cute, y'all. Now, the funny thing is about this, just as of today, my ex-sister-in-law contacted me about doing this craft bazaar, like church craft bazaar, that I was going to do last year. If you've been watching, you know, I was going to do that last year, and then it turned out that the day that they were having it was on a Saturday, and it was like started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it turned out it was the same Saturday I had to turn in my entries at the fair. The other thing that also happened, so that was at the end of July. Again, if you've been watching, you would know this, the rest of what I'm going to say here. However, I know that there's a lot of you that don't know, but my son died June 10th, and I lost like the rest of June. I lost the July came. I remember when July 4th rolled around, and I was absolutely just, it was so bad. And then it poured down rain like part of that day, because I remember sitting over here at the car wash in the truck watching the parade, and my daughter she got out and she went up to the sidewalk right in front of there with the umbrella, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have even gone. But she stood up there, you know, while the parade was going through, and I watched her in the parade and that. And I literally just sat in the truck and bawled my eyes out, because it was the absolute first holiday since Devin, my son, had been gone, and I just couldn't. So that was a really really tough day. And yeah, by the end of the month, I was still like, I was just floating. You know, last summer, I was just, after that happened, it was like I was just floating through days like a zombie, to be honest, and I kept trying to do the things that I wanted to do, and I would get excited about crocheting and that, and then I just couldn't get myself to do it. Like, so I had already told her, my ex-sister-in-law, you know, I just can't do it this year. That I didn't tell her about the fair, but it didn't matter, because I wasn't able to sit down and even make really anything to be able to have a booth, you know, and sell anything. And I'm not really totally for tons of people do markets. The lady that I got this pattern, and I got a couple other patterns from her as well that were really cute, amigurumi plushies. You know, that's what she does, that's her thing, and she's great at it. Like, she literally designs like little critters and stuff, and just does phenomenal. And I have watched her this year go through Indiana Comic Con and the Renaissance Fair in Indiana and all this stuff. So that's been really cool, and I'm really happy for her. I think that's great. For me, I think that I've had quite a few people say to me, like, you should do this bazaar, or you should do that, and I'm extremely reluctant to do that, because for one, I have chronic health issues. That plays a major factor, period, because I never know absolutely what I'm going to feel like. And that's the same reason that I can't go to a job every day and just work for the man like everybody else does. It's like, I can't just do that, because I have too many problems that I would like literally be a liability to them. So it's the same reason. So even things that I want to do, it's extremely hard to do. And so I cannot be assured that, oh, you know, tomorrow I'm going to feel great, and then I get up tomorrow and I feel, you know, awful sometimes. Today has been one of those days, to be honest. I don't understand what's really going on, but it's like I'm having a flare up again. I have just literally been aching all over. the aching is normal without my medication, but I've taken like my painkillers today and stuff, so I felt like good this morning, but somehow this afternoon I started just having aching, even in my knees, like, which is not usual, but like my hips, my legs, my knees, like just all over. And it actually started out this morning in this arm, like all the way down. It's just, I thought, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to crochet today because that was hurting really bad. Yesterday, I was telling my daughter, I said, my wrist is hurting really bad and my tennis elbow, and I haven't even crocheted. And she says, well, maybe you won't even be able to crochet. And I said, well, sometimes actually when it's like that, I'll start crocheting and it actually lessens up more or less. But I never know, how that's gonna. So anyway, I told her I would go ahead and do it this year. So I'm planning to do it, is my point. That's where I was going with all this. I didn't forget. I do forget things, but I didn't forget. So I'm planning on doing that. So I thought, this is fantastic because I bought, this pattern. And like I said, it doesn't look like much now, but these are going to be adorable. These are little flowers, and they actually have little tiny green legs on them, and they're flower pals. They just sit. Basically, they're little sitting type plushies. And then she has the pattern where there's like, there's 3 or 4 different types of petals that you can make. So you can make it look like a sunflower. There's daisy. Like there's a few different ones or what. So that's why I'm making like different different colors here, because I have in mind then colors that I'm going to put, with these. I wish I'd done these eyes a little bit bigger, but again, I think like it looks cute. I think it'll be okay, but I should have, this was like the next size up, these little eyes. So, and then, like I said, the yarn I'm using, so it's just the Premier Chanel from the Dollar Tree, basically. So that's another thing, like making them, this pattern doesn't take very much yarn, which is awesome. So, because I don't want to charge, I've already had this thought about all this. I'm probably going to undercharge myself on everything just because, like, to do it and try to sell things. And then if I don't sell whatever, I'm still going to be okay with that, to be honest. Like I said, I've never done markets, not with crochet or anything. So I think that just doing it that way, for this particular thing, oh good grief, I got another cat trying to approach me here. No, all these cats will lay anywhere, and that is not even a joke. You come on. But anyway, so I'm actually really excited about this, and like I said, I think this will be a great thing. That's why I made several. I thought I was going to anyway. I'm so sorry. Come on, Biesa. Come on, baby. Meow. She's like, no, BB, come on. Biesa, come here. Sit on mommy's lap then. And mommy's almost done. Come on, you can stay here for a minute. It's like trying to pacify a baby or a child. They're all like, they're literally. So that's what I'm working on at the moment. Now I have, there's a moth. That's lovely. I'll have to kill that here in a minute. I have a couple blankets to work on. And y'all, I could not bring myself to work on those blankets today. And the one is literally almost done. So I need to get back on that. Maybe I can tomorrow, but it's warmed up again. We went from it being like 80 degrees. We had this cool down. Monday when we went to the fair, it was literally perfect because it was like 80 degrees and the humidity had lessened up. And then yesterday it was 84, which the humidity was a little bit more, but like not too bad. Well, today we went back up to 90. Tomorrow is supposed to be 91. So like I've just literally been trying to either majority sit inside today, which I don't love. I love to be out in nature. So to be honest, been out there sitting under the actual carport outside the front of it in the shade off and on too, as long as like I can deal with that. And then it's not too bad when there's actually like some wind blowing like from that direction. So, and I'm like sitting facing this way, so that's not too bad at all. So this is what I'm working on. And then hopefully tomorrow, I got that upside down. But these are cute, and like I said, I will put that up here so you can see what they look like because they're so adorable. And I bought a couple other patterns from her. One is a little dragon, and then one is a Pegasus. And my daughter is absolutely loves dragons. And I've looked at a couple of ones that I wanted to make her before, and then I got this pattern. I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make her one of those because she loves that. She's into trying Wings of Fire. If you the book series, that is, she's into that, and she's like loves it so much. So she loves dragons. She even sits down and draws them and stuff. So I want to make her one, but this is like the perfect timing for this because I'm like I've got to sit down and make a list and see like what I can work on to put towards like being able to have like enough stuff for a little booth. I'm just going to be able to put up like one decent sized table under a tent basically, and that's, well, I could probably think could put up two, but she asked me if I had a table and a tent, and I'm like, yeah. So I think you could actually put, because I saw how they were set up last year. I felt bad. uh, my husband and I drove right past them on the way out after we entered the fair. But like I said, I didn't want to tell her about the whole thing about the fair and stuff, which she understood like completely, because she absolutely did know that my son had passed away. So she said to me, I completely understand, but I did nonetheless still feel bad about it. So I will see you tomorrow with, I don't know, some kind of video. So I'm just gonna say that I'm not gonna hold myself to finished objects, okay, for tomorrow, because I don't know. Now I should be able to have, yes, like I should be able to have all three of these done, but Lord only knows what tomorrow will bring. And I do know tomorrow night I have to go pick up my fair entries. So there's that between 7 and 9 o'clock, and then we're going to be over there for a while. So whatever I do needs to be done like earlier in the day. So we shall see. Thank you all so much for watching, especially if you're still watching. You're awesome. Thank you so much, and bye now. God bless.